If you're not already part of our Facebook advisor community, I've just popped a link in the chat there. If you wanted to join, you would be more than welcome to come and join our community of travel advisors. The reason that we do this is because we do provide a lot of exclusive offers that are for agents only, and we like to have that in a controlled and a closed circuit environment. So if you'd like to join that webinar, we do have a lot of unique opportunities and exclusive offers that I do post in our webinars, and I also post them in our Facebook group as well. I'm going to give 30 more seconds. Good afternoon from New Jersey. So pop in the chat box, who has been to Egypt before? Obviously, that's our topic today. Have you been to Egypt before? Have you sent clients to Egypt before? Are you wanting to go? A long time ago. Not yet, says Mary. Yes and yes. Going in November. So tell me, I feel like Egypt is one of the hottest destinations in the world right now. Who would agree with me? I feel like everyone is talking about Egypt. Everyone wants to go. The Middle East is just absolutely exploding at the moment. And so that's why I'm so excited to be bringing to you the Middle East Travel Alliance. So on the call with us today, we do have Mr. Khalid, who is the director and owner and co-founder of not only META, the Middle East Travel Alliance, but also Immerse Egypt, which is our DMC in Egypt. We also have on a call with us Ibrahim, who is our marketing director and entrepreneur and everything that is required for META. Ibrahim is your guy. If you need anything, well, when I need anything, he is my #1 go-to. And we also are delighted to welcome one of our senior tour guides, actually from Egypt, and he is obviously in Egypt as well, which is Mr. Magdad. So I'm delighted to have all of these people with us today, and they will be able to bring to you so much knowledge and insight as it comes in relation to Egypt. So please challenge them with some questions. I'd like to see someone have a bit of a brain scratcher and have to get back to you on something, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So the challenge has been set. Please send any questions that you have, and we would love to answer them. So I wanted to just sort of touch on the destination of Egypt and just sort of an overarching, we're just going to set the scene for this webinar. So why Egypt as a destination? You know, we've already really established that this is, you know, such a hot and popular destination for right now. So why Egypt? Obviously, we are so familiar with the incredible history, which is really unparalleled, that we don't see anywhere else in the world. You know, we've got monuments, we've got archaeological wonders, and, you know, people are just absolutely in awe. You know, you see a picture of the pyramids and, you know, you see the picture like, yeah, they're pretty big, you know, and they look incredible. And you know from the photo that they are incredible. But once you get there and you're in front of them, it completely changes your perspective of everything. We know that we have the Nile, so the majestic Nile River. They do often refer to this as being the lifeblood of Egypt. It not only sustains the country, but it also is a great way to see these charming riverside towns and the vistas and the captivating Nile views as well. We also have what we've termed the hidden treasures, which is the things that we find beyond these famous sites. So they have these hidden gems from lesser known temples to secluded oases. And these are just sort of sitting there waiting to be discovered. And they're waiting for you to have a DMC that has the knowledge to be able to show you these hidden treasures beyond the standard, you know, 5 stops in Egypt. We also have incredible deserts as well. So you've got that desert adventure. We do know that Egypt has a vast desert oasis. So we've got, you know, obviously the Sahara. So you get these mesmerizing landscapes. You've got desert safaris, camel trekking, and stargazing as well. We do have another why Egypt, which is the old and the new Cairo, sort of that juxtaposition between the old and the new. You've got the bustling capital and the ancient wonders of the pyramids that are sort of right there next to this vibrant city of modern skyscrapes and urban culture. and we do have the friendly people. So Ibrahim and I always like to joke on every webinar that chivalry is not dead in Egypt. Ladies, you heard it. I was just absolutely I was just so surprised, but it was just incredible to see the chivalry, and the people and the Egyptians are so renowned for their warm hospitality and their friendliness. And it's just, everyone's got open arms and they're just welcoming you with a genuine smile, and it's just a wonderful destination to immerse yourself in that culture. Egypt, it has something for everyone. So there's the diverse culture, there's the food, there's the history enthusiast avenue, there's an adventure seeker avenue, and also there's those other hidden treasures such as the beaches, which is another thing that you might not necessarily think about when you think of Egypt, but there is a lot of incredible sea and coastline and paradise beaches. You've got water sports if you're into that, but there's also these crystal clear blue waters and these vibrant coral reefs, and also a thriving marine life, which you'll see in the photos that are off to the side there. These photos are actually all in Egypt. So you can see the one in the bottom right-hand corner, the man lovely floating, and that's the one floating in this incredible, it's like all like white rock of salt, and it's you might be reminded a little bit of like what it's like in Israel, but the difference between these two is that these waters here are absolutely crystal blue and clear. So these are probably things that you might not have been familiar with in regards to when it comes to Egypt, but that's why we're here today. And with that, I am delighted to hand over to Ibrahim, who is going to do a little bit of a recap on the destination and then a little bit about Meta. Thank you so much, Ibrahim.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Katie, for this amazing introduction again, and hope everyone's doing great. Again, my name is Ibrahim Khalid, and I'd like to start off this session by giving you a quick recap of what we discussed on our first session about how Meta is simplifying travel in the Middle East. The Middle East offers a captivating blend of ancient and, of course, modern attractions as well. We're very known for our warm hospitality, and we have a lot of significant religious sites everywhere. Tourism in the region has had a remarkable recovery, surpassing our 2019 number by 15%. This, of course, is a great indicator and a testament to the growing high demand for travel in the Middle East. Multi-country tours is a very much in high demand, especially for long-haul countries like the United States. However, planning multi-country tours in the Middle East can be a very overwhelming endeavor, including contacting multiple DMCs in different destinations, receiving multiple quotations and itineraries from each DMC, putting it together in a holistic manner, which is not an easy manner whatsoever. Dealing with multiple payments, each with different transaction fees and also terms and conditions, organizing the logistics between the countries, including border crossing, coordinating between the different DMCs, making sure that if there's a DMC on one board and a DMC on other, that they're both coordinated. Small things like that, of course, can cause larger issues if they're not coordinated properly. This complexity can be extremely overwhelming and time-consuming for the travel agent. And this is where Meta steps in. Meta simplifies this by offering a streamlined process with the following solution. We have a vetted network of local DMCs. So we carefully select our DMC members within our network to ensure that they're reliable and have high quality and have an existing long track record of providing excellence in their service. We have dedicated coordinators who they serve as a single point of contact, providing you with a unified quotation itinerary and coordinating the logistics between the different DMCs. We have a single payment process. So you can either pay through PayPal, payment link, or you can make a single bank transfer without having to deal with the multiple DMCs. And of course, at the forefront of our mission here at Meta is sustainability. Our sustainability process starts at the beginning, where we maximize carbon reduction while planning the tour. And it ends with neutralizing the unavoidable emission through carbon sequestration programs through benefiting more than 400,000 local farmers. So this is very important to us while we were choosing the sustainability partners, is to make sure that they're vetted and to make sure that they are providing benefit not only towards the environment, but also towards helping people and the people in need. Of course, moving forward to the booking process with Meta, it's very, very simple, and it involves the following steps. First of all, on our website, you're here to explore ideas. So you can visit our website to get some inspiration from our tour ideas for each single destinations individually or for multi-country tours. And then that will give you an inspiration. Or you can also always book a call with us. We're always here to help 24/7 and discuss potential ideas for your client to make sure that it's tailor-made and holistic to their specific references. And then you'll be submitting the request. When you're submitting the request, you can either submit it through the dedicated forms on our website, or feel free to email us at hello@middleeasttravelalliance.net. And also there's meta@wheelhousetravel.com as well. And Katie, of course, will be sharing these emails with you. You can also have the ability to get customized quotation. We'll then provide you, after, of course, you submit the request, we'll provide you with the customized quotation with your requirements. And then after we provide you with the quotation and the itinerary, then you'll be able to provide this with your commission level. So we're very flexible with this on applying the commission level that you see fit, regardless of the actual price of the quotation, okay? And also we can help you with white labeling itineraries, just to make sure that we take all the organization and designing aspect from your hand, and of course to make you focus more on the selling aspect of things. So after all the confirmation, after you choose the itinerary and everything is confirmed, then you'll be able to pay it through our either PayPal, as I said, or the single payment transfer, whichever you prefer or suits you best. And with that being said, I'll hand over the presentation to
Hello, you hear me? Yes. Hi everyone. Thank you for Ibrahim for this nice introduction. My name is Khalid Ibrahim. I am the business development consultant for Amisol Travel. Let me introduce Amisol Travel. Amisol Travel is the Egyptian DMC, established in 2010. While the parent company, Amisol Travel Scandinavia, started 1991 in Norway and later in Denmark. For the past 30 years, Amisol Travel have sent to Egypt almost 1 million happy travelers. Later, Amisol Travel as a standalone DMC start to service customers from other countries than Scandinavia. Last year, 2022, August, Amisol Travel has committed itself to green approach. How we do that? First of all, while designing the itinerary, we try to use the least harmful mean of transportation, so to reduce the carbon emissions. We have also signed agreement with Carbon Footprint Center at the Heliopolis University, where they help us to measure the emissions from our itineraries after we do the maximum reduction by using local eco-friendly accommodation, green star hotels, and eco-friendly transportation. After all, we still have unavoidable emissions. We are also committed to offset this emission that cannot be avoided by purchasing carbon credit from the Biodynamics Association of Egypt. They have developed a certificate called the Economy of Love, where they support, as Ibrahim say, more than 45,000 farmers. They do their best to green the desert and to grow organic foods and help their communities. So by doing that, we support the local farmers and we support the environment in general. We make sure that every customer of us, since 1 year now, exactly 1 year this year, every single customer have been traveling with us to Egypt, we have offset the carbon that cannot be avoided, and they have delivered a certificate with a barcode for transparency, so they can check through the website of the Biodynamic Association of Egypt and check that their carbon have been offset. Next. Now, after we have introduced to you Unveil Travel, let me introduce to you my beloved country, Egypt. Egypt location. First of all, Egypt is in the heart of the Middle East with a very strategic location. As you can see, it's in the Mediterranean from one side and from the other side on the Red Sea. So it is like meeting point between the East and the West. We are in the North Africa, but we're still connected to Asia by the Sinai. This is Sinai Peninsula. Sinai Peninsula and the Red Sea, it's our bridge between Africa and Asia. So here, this is Africa, and here is Asia. And here in the middle, you see Sinai is like a bridge between Asia and Africa. So this is a really strategic location that make impact and really different in the ancient and the modern history. Next. Major airports. Of course, to come to Egypt, you need to fly because you're far away. You can't come otherwise. Unfortunately, you have to fly, and flight is the most contributor to the carbon footprint. But for now, I hope in the future they will find solution for that. Okay, now we have Cairo Airport is the main airport, and in Alexandria we have 2 airports, also international airports. And then we have 1 international airport in Sinai, Sharm el-Sheikh. We have another international airport to the beach resort of Hurghada. So this is Sharm el-Sheikh Resort, and this is Hurghada Resort. Also, we have another resort in the south called Marsa Alam. Marsa Alam is also have an international airport. So to these 3 airports, mainly charter coming and low-cost carriers like Pegasus, EasyJet, and they are mostly coming from Europe. Okay, then we have Luxor International Airport here, the famous Luxor, where is this the big traffic from Europe as well, direct flights. And we have also Aswan Airport. The Aswan is the last city in the south of Egypt. After Aswan, there is only Abu Simbel and then Sudan. So this is, if you are looking where to arrive in Egypt, this is the main airport that you can send your customer through. Next. Egypt is bordering with its neighbors countries in the Middle East. First, we are neighbors of Israel and Palestine through Taba border. In Sinai, here, Sharm el-Sheikh, there is along the coast, there is a nice, very beautiful road where you can reach Taba border with Israel. There you cross from Taba border, you are in Eilat, exactly. Like 20 minutes by taxi from the border, you are in the center of Eilat. From Eilat, then you can go to Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, or Bethlehem in the Palestinian territory. Next. Then we are also have a sea access border to Jordan, because from Taba here to Jordan by boat is like 15 minutes by boat. or from Nueva to Aqaba in Jordan is also about 2-3 hours. It depends if there is speedboat, it's much less. But Nueva, they have daily boats, and from Taba, they have only Saturday and Wednesdays. Next. On the other side of the Red Sea, we have this Saudi Arabia, and we are connected to Saudi Arabia by ferry from Safaga near Hurghada. On daily basis, there is a ferry, that big ones that take buses, cars, passenger trade, and tourists as well. And if you are acquainted with the sea cruises that come from Dubai to Jeddah, from Jeddah to Safaga in Egypt, to Petra, and to Aqaba, and then it crosses the Suez Canal to Europe. Next. This is our tour guide slide, please.
Maged, can you please unmute yourself, please? Thank you.
Unmute.
Oh, sorry. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm senior tour guide, Majid, senior tour guide in Egypt. Let's talk about very important topics about Egypt, about the currency, the income in Egypt for the average income for the Egyptians. If we talk about the money in Egypt, we're using an Egyptian pound. 1 Egyptian pound, it's actually, it's rate about 0.064 US dollar, which is $1 US about 32 Egyptian pound. The Egyptian earn per month about 300 US dollar, which that's some information to give you an idea about what the people call, spend the money here. And also you can set your trip budget in Egypt, which is actually not very expensive. It will be cheap and a good average actually. Also about the food and the drinks, you can spend less money than anywhere else. Egypt had lots of different varieties of food, some local food. Actually, local food is very delicious, like a dish called kosheri, falafel, beans, molokhaya, some good stuff, some local stuff. Also, we have international cuisine, lots of varieties of international cuisine. You can actually eating in Egypt, you can cost about between 5 to 30 US dollars per meal. It depends on the cuisine, it depends on the restaurant itself. That gives you an idea about the budget, actually. It's a very friendly budget in Egypt here. And nice food, delicious food in Egypt. You can use lots of varieties, actually. We will talk about a topic, the attraction sites and the landmark in Egypt. Lots of attraction sites actually in Egypt. For example, everyone knows the pyramid, Sphinx, White Desert, Saqqara, Red Sea, Egyptian Museum. We're still having the Grand Egyptian Museum still under construction. Maybe it will open in November, next November. That would be one of the most attracted place in Egypt after the opening. Actually, lots of sites. We can talk about each site in a days, but let's have an idea about each site in Egypt. For example, like a Pyramids of Giza. Pyramids of Giza, it's one of the wonders, or the only existent wonders from the ancient Egyptian world, actually. One of the most strongest building all over the world, long time ago, more than 4,000 years ago, but it's still standing in a good condition, actually facing the time, facing all erosions around, but still in a good condition. It's impressive architectural, actually. One of the most attracted place in Egypt. Everyone come to Egypt has to see the pyramid for sure. The Sphinx also, it's next to the pyramid. Sphinx is the guardian, consider a guardian for the whole necropolis around. It's considered a lion body with a head of the pharaoh, representing actually the mysteries of Egypt. Also standing, still in a very good condition, except the nose. I mean, for sure, lots of people know that what's happening for the nose, but actually for the nose of the Sphinx. But when actually you will come, you will see and know more about each place and each site. Another site like Memphis and Saqqara. Memphis, it's considered the oldest capital for Egypt. It's founded 3100 BC. That was the house of the great Sphinx there. It had a small temple for statue for King Ramses II. He developed the area there. We have a temple for God Betah, ruins actually now, but it was a great temple for God called God Betah, one of the gods of one of the ancient Egyptian gods. Saqqara also, it's a unique site. It had the first pyramid in the whole of the world, actually, which is the step pyramid, or we can call it also Pyramid of King Joseph. That was built by a great architect, Imhotep, a very famous architect, Imhotep. And he, the first one, succeeded to build a huge and a strong structure, actually, which is the step pyramid. Egyptian Museum in Cairo. It's a home for lots of extensive, actually, artifacts. Lots of statues, lots of treasures there, accessories, especially Tutankhamun treasure. Still some stuff for Tutankhamun treasure in the museum, in the Egyptian museum. We still have the golden mask. The golden mask is considered the masterpiece for the Egyptian museum. It's still there. But actually, most of the stuff, it will move to the Grand Egyptian Museum before the opening itself. And the whole treasures of Tutankhamun will be together in one place in the Grand Egyptian Museum. Let's go to another city. All of these stuff is in Cairo, but let's go to another city like Luxor. Luxor, it's an ancient capital for Egypt. It stayed for more than 700 years at the capital for Egypt, especially during the New Kingdom time, which is the golden era during the ancient Egyptian time. We still have massive temple there, which is called Karnak Temple. And the Karnak Temple, it's a huge temple covered now about 26 acres. It's dedicated, have chapels there, temples inside the temple itself, dedicated to various gods, to the pharaohs as well. We have a great hall, the greatest hall, which is still the greatest hall in the whole of the world until now. Another site in Luxor, it's a very important site, which is Valley of the Kings. Valley of the Kings, it's the house, or the we can say that the afterlife houses for the pharaohs, which is the tombs of the pharaohs, but we like to call it the houses for the afterlife, because it's not just the tombs, it's more than that. It means more than that. That's where the pharaohs stayed for their afterlife. Beautiful tombs, beautiful scenes inside the tombs depicted actually the journey of the afterlife. It's a unique place, unique. We don't have any sites in Egypt like the Valley of the Kings because the colors, the beautiful colors, actually, the decoration inside, the scenes inside, it's very unique. We have Luxor Temple as well, and Luxor Temple is still standing in the heart of the city, in the heart of Luxor. Luxor Temple, it has a beautiful columns, architectural inside the temple with the incredible hieroglyphic inscriptions inside on the wall of the temple is still unique inside this temple, especially Luxor Temple. Let's go to another city in Egypt, like Aswan. Aswan, the most southern city in Egypt. It has one of the beautiful temples for the beautiful goddess Isis. It's called Phila Temple. And Phila Temple, it's on the island. It's one site on the island. The only temple and the only building on the island. This temple moved actually from its site according to the threaten of the water of Aswan Dam, which is Aswan Dam. When we built the Aswan Dam, the water started to raise up. Unfortunately, covered the whole temple for more than 60 years. But we succeeded to move that temple from its original island to another island called Angelica Island. And the temple is still standing there with the beautiful columns and the beautiful structure inside. One of the most attracted sites in the whole of Egypt, also considered an Aswan governorate, but actually south of Aswan, about 285 kilometers south of Aswan, two temples there called Abu Simbel temples. Abu Simbel temples, for sure, one of the most attracted sites in Egypt as well. This is not just a temple, but actually it's a mountain. It's Ramses II, or the builder who founded these temples actually there. He decided to carve the mountain. So the whole temples inside the mountain, we also faced to move this temple, which is the first temple moved in the whole of the world, actually, from its site to a new site. Before the water touched it, before the water of the high dam touched it, when we built the high dam, also the water of the high dam, which is Nasser Lake, it's called Nasser Lake now, one of the biggest man-made lake in the world, actually, start to approach to the temple, but we succeeded to move the whole temple to another side. We didn't move just the temple, but we moved the whole mountain from its side to a new side. Let's go to another city also in Egypt, which is Alexandria. Alexandria, it's a beautiful city situated on the Mediterranean coast. Alexandria, it had actually lots of sites, old sites and new sites, modern sites. It's a mix between ancient and the new sites, actually. From the ancient Egyptian sites there, from the ancient sites, we have Pompeii's Pillar, we have Catacomb, Komel, which is called Komel Shukafa, El Shadbi Tomb, Roman Amphitheater. The old library there, it's not exist, but we have the new or the modern library, which is Biblioteca of Alexandria. Also, we have White Desert. White Desert, it's lots of information for the White Desert. It's nice for camping, nice for nice atmosphere actually there. We have Siwa Oasis. Siwa Oasis, it's experience to the tranquil beauty of Siwa Oasis, less traveled destination with natural springs, salt lakes, and ancient ruins as well. Red Sea resorts, Red Sea Resorts. Actually, it's another site. It had gorgeous beaches, underwater, marvelous of the Red Sea in places like Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada. Mediterranean Sea resorts like Port Said, Port Fouad. It has and North Coast as well. That's offering exquisite beaches, clear water, different coastal experience. Actually, these are just a few of Egypt's contribute treasures waiting to explored. So we'll wait for you. We'll wait for everybody, guys. Okay. So, Mr. Khalid.
Thank you, Magid, very much for your nice.
Thank you.
Of course, I know it's very hard. I've been myself a tour guide, so I know how hard for a tour guide to guide virtually. So we are all waiting for you, so you can have your time and live guiding all these sites. Before I continue my part, I would just, I really enjoyed the presentation of Ibrahim about the Meta and the Middle East and how Meta can help travel agent to finalize and to execute their plan for their client to the Middle East. But what I want to say, only 5 days ago, we received a request for 67 days in the Middle East. And this is a real example how Meta is helping the travel agents. So can you imagine 67 days, 6 countries, and if you have this request as a travel agent, what you will do, or a tour operator? So you will send a request to 6 DMC in 6 countries. How long you need to wait for answer? Some will answer quickly, some will answer slowly, okay? But it will take you to get this itinerary together, I think maybe 2 weeks or more, okay? We did 40 page, Meta did 40 page of itinerary, 43 actually, of itinerary for 67 days in the Middle East in only 4 days. In 4 days time, the client, the agent received the quotation, including brief itinerary and detailed itinerary. I think, Ibrahim, if you will send
I have it here. I'm going to send the document, the 43-page itinerary. I'm going to put in the chat box now for your curiosity. This was actually a US advisor who had requested this package. And it is just, I just wanted to touch a little bit on it, about how incredible it is that we are able to pull this together. I do have another example of where, you know, Meta has been able to step in and really, it's more about streamlining the process. You know, they have the contacts, they speak the local language. We had another quote actually last 2 weeks ago, and it was for a large event. And this advisor came to us and she said, look, I'm really struggling to get event space. You know, this is full, I'm really unsure. They've said that they can't do it, this, that, and the other. And we got in touch immediately with Mr. Khalid and Ibrahim. They made some calls, and it turns out actually it is available, but just because they spoke the local language, they were able to bring all of this together. And within 24 hours, they had a quote on this advisor's desk for over 200 packs event in Saudi Arabia. So I just wanted to give you that example of just what is able to be done and how Meta is really changing the landscape of this DMC deliverables within the Middle East. So that link is there for you to have a look through an itinerary for 67 days. I'll probably do it. You can do a little bit of it. You can pull a little bit out of it, but it gives some great ideas of what can be done and how these countries can all be combined and how it can all be streamlined through Meta. Sorry, Mr. Khalid, to interrupt you there. I'll let you carry on.
Thank you. Now I'll have the time to say something still, if we still have time. Yes, highlight sample trips. Okay, Egypt as a country, 1 million square meter. We are all living in, let's say, in along 6% of the country. Okay, out of this 6%, you can see 3 main cities in 6-7 days, which is Cairo, Aswan, Al-Aqsa, and you can do a cruise as well. Okay. Also, if you have a customer who want to see Egypt in more depth, then 12 to 15 days is the right duration. For customers that like to have some supplement of adventure or let's say beach holiday, it's between 4 to 8 days. Next, in the next slide, I will show you in the map exactly how you can do that. Let's say you have a customer who want to come to Egypt for 8 days, okay, minimum. If less than 8 days, then it's only Cairo. I mean, 3-4 days, then it's only Cairo city break. So here is the map. You will arrive Cairo, okay, because it's a long haul. Then from Cairo, 2 or 3 days in Cairo, visit the pyramids, Sphinx, Memphis, Saqqara, Egyptian Museum, Khan el-Khalili, Bazar, and then fly or train. I prefer train because I love sustainability, but not many tourists like trains. We have beautiful trains now. So from Cairo, you can fly or go by train to Aswan. Aswan, you visit Abu Simbel, Fila Temple, and the beautiful Nubian village. I come from Aswan, Nubian, so I'm half Nubian. So it's my best spot. Aswan, the most beautiful city. I am proud of that in Egypt. And then from Aswan, you can go to Luxor by train or by boat. By boat, you can take a Nile cruise, 3 nights, or Dahabiya. Dahabiya is more sustainable because it is a small boat, traditional wooden boat, which has about only 4 to 8 cabins. So it's very good for if you have like a small family, a small group of friends. It has the privacy because the boat is so small. It makes stops in different places that the big boats are not able to stop. And then you arrive Luxor, and then from Luxor you go back to Cairo. This is what you can do in 7 to 8 days. Next, if you have a customer that is more interested in to visit Egypt in depth, then it depends of the reference of the customer. What is their interest? For example, if they're interested in beach holidays, Red Sea, diving, snorkeling, then you can extend them for a few days to Hurghada, which is only 260 kilometers from Luxor. So it make it accessible. Or they can fly to Sharm el-Sheikh. Sharm el-Sheikh is the Mecca of divers. You know what is Mecca? Mecca is the pilgrimage site of Saudi Arabia for Muslims. So we say Sharm el-Sheikh is the Mecca for divers. If you are a diver, you have to dive once at Sharm el-Sheikh, okay, in your life. Then another extension, you can do a few days to Alexandria, yeah, or Fayoum, or desert adventure. We have another in the desert. You can do like this part. This is the call it Wahad Bahariya or Bahariya Oasis. Here there is few more oases, not clear in the map. There is Kharga, Dakhla, Farafra. Adventurers, they know this very well. So you can go from Cairo to Fayoum, Fayoum to Wahad Bahariya, Bahariya to Kharga, Dakhla, and then to Luxor. Here we have Siwa. You remember this image with the crystal water, salt water? This is in Siwa, which is near from Marsa Matruh. Along the Mediterranean Sea also, we have Mediterranean resorts, very, very popular for high-end customer. We have now El Alamein resort, a new resort, beautiful. just reasonably constructed. And it will be one of the best resorts in Egypt as well. But this is only for summer. Red Sea is for winter, more winter, because the water temperature on the Red Sea in winter is 22, 23. So very warm. Next. Combination, yes. This is what I love about Egypt. From Egypt, because especially for someone coming from the United States or from Australia or from Latin or Canada, you fly a long way to Egypt, and of course you want to see as much as you can in your short of time. So being connected to Jordan and Saudi Arabia and Israel and Palestine, you can make a lot of combination, like Egypt and Israel, Egypt and Jordan, Egypt, Jordan and Israel, Egypt, Jordan and Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Saudi Arabia. You know that Saudi Arabia, for the first time in the history, they opened for the non-religion tourism only a couple of years ago, according to the vision of 2030 of the young Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So Egypt, Saudi Arabia, it was the last ring on the chain of the Middle East, because from one side you have United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, they're touristic. Egypt, Jordan, and Israel, their touristic destination. Only Saudi Arabia was not touristic destination. And now, since they opened doors for tourism, now the Middle East is changing, because you can access from one country to another very easily now. I hope this area of the Middle East, what is known for a conflict, is going to be calm for many years to come, so the people of the world can come and enjoy the beauty of the Middle East, where the three main religions took Middle East as the ground for delivering their noble message to the people. Next. Okay, we talk about, no, back, yes. Now, yes. Okay, I can talk. Okay, Egypt, this is the Egypt and Israel and Palestine route. So you can come to Cairo, again to Aswan, again to Luxor. I always prefer this way. Go first to the south and back to the north. Many others, they like to go Luxor and then from Aswan, because when you fly from Cairo to Luxor and then to Aswan, you are not saving traveling time. So you go and back, So I like to go first. This is my personal advice. First go to Aswan, and then from Aswan go to Luxor, because then you have the option to extend. But if you come from Cairo to Luxor, and then from Luxor to Aswan, you have no option to make extension, you see? So I always prefer Cairo, Aswan, Luxor, and then from Luxor to Sharm el-Sheikh by flight. Then there is a beautiful road. Myself, I was a tour guide in Sinai from 1983 to 1987. And this is a beautiful road along the Red Sea. So you stay one night in Sharm el-Sheikh, for example, then drive from Sharm el-Sheikh to Taba here, cross the border, very easy, crossing border to Eilat, Israel on the other side. And then from Eilat, beautiful road through Negev to Jerusalem. And from Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Palestinian territory, and then to Tel Aviv, and then you fly out of Tel Aviv. Very easy. I mean, in 12 days, you can do this easily. Very nice trip, Egypt and Israel. Next. This is Egypt and Jordan. The same like we did Egypt before, so I will not repeat that. And then instead of flying from Luxor to Sharm el-Sheikh, you fly to Amman. There is no direct flight at the moment. Used to be before the COVID, but now I think maybe they're still thinking to put direct flights from Luxor to Amman, but there is a very good connection via Cairo. So let's say 2 hours connection in Cairo, altogether 4 hours you are in Amman. Then from Amman to Petra, from Petra then to the Dead Sea or Wadi Rum, it depends. Also in 10 days, 11 days, you can do this trip. Next. Egypt, Jordan, Israel. The same trip like Egypt and Jordan, but instead of flying back from Amman, you just cross the border of LMB Bridge. Can you zoom in, Ibrahim? Yes, yes, yes. Here, you see LMB Bridge. So you, from Amman, Mount Nebo, you just cross to LMB Bridge, you are in Jerusalem. Only like 30, 40 minutes from Amman to LMB Bridge, crossing the border, and then you are in Jerusalem, again, Bethlehem, where the Jesus was born, and then fly back from Tel Aviv. Again, about 2 weeks, you can visit 3 countries, less than 2 weeks, maybe 13 days, you can visit the 3 countries, Egypt, Jordan, and Israel. Next. Yes, this is what I love most, because I did this trip myself, and I was one of the few people who took this road. Can you zoom in, Ibrahim, in Jordan? So you know this part about Egypt already. Then after you finish Jordan, instead of going to Israel, you can go to Wadi Rum, okay? And then from Wadi Rum to the Saudi border is only 100 kilometers. There is a house in this part. There is a house of Lawrence of Arabia. Okay, you can visit that. And then cross the border, this border called Mudawwara. I think this is my discovery, because everybody was crossing to Saudi Arabia from the Aqaba from here. But when I went to Jordan, I found that I asked them, how long, there is the new border here. You say, yes, 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 but nobody use it. And I use it, and it was very, very nice. Because from Wadi Rum to the border, only 100 kilometers. Can you imagine? Like less than an hour, okay? Crossing the border is very easy, but you have to have the visa in advance. There is no passport control, so you cannot issue a visa here. You have to have the visa. Then to Tabuk, beautiful city of Saudi Arabia. They have the Tabuk fort. They have this museum at the Hijaz Railway. And then from Tabuk to Tayma Oasis. I mean, spend the night there, Tayma Oasis. And then from Tayma Oasis to Al-Ula, about 200 kilometers. And then spend 1 or 2 nights in Al-Ula, beautiful Al-Ula. I know you all heard about the treasures of Al-Ula. And then from Al-Ula to Khaybar. Khaybar is a beautiful oasis where the first conflict of Muslim and Jews started at the early time of Islam. This was Khaybar, it was a Arab Jew oasis, and they had the fight. And then from Khaybar to Al-Madinah, where Muhammad the Prophet is mosque. And then from Medina to Jeddah, I did by this myself as well, a beautiful speed train, only 2.5 hours, you are in Jeddah. And then from Jeddah, you can fly home. In 10, 12 days, you can do Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Next. Next.
Ibrahim, can we move to the next slide, please?
Yes. Yes. Yes, yeah, we are the next. Okay, we are next.
Sorry, I think Mr. Khalid's aware that we're running a bit tight on schedule, so he's going to move.
Okay. So the same trip of Egypt, and then instead of going to Jordan, but we take the flight from Cairo to Tabuk, instead of going to Jordan, which is about only 1 hour, 20 minutes. Okay, thank you. Now we have this exclusive agent offers. We know that many travel agents would like to travel with their friends and families. So we made this special trips for travel agent, travel advisor with their friends and family. And we have dedicated this date from 9th of March to the 16th of March. I think Katie will send you these offers.
Just pop it in the chat box, everyone, but I will send that as part of the follow-up as well.
Yeah, okay. So this is all about my part, and thank you very much for listening. I hope it took us more time than planned, but Egypt is big, I'm sorry.
Well, you can tell that Mr. Khalid is extremely passionate about his homeland, and I love that. Thank you for bringing the warmth and the hospitality of Egypt to us here on this webinar. I will do a very quick conclusion, and then I also do a little bit of follow-up for you guys as well. As part of the follow-up email, I will be sending a lot of the links. I'll be sending this recording. I'll be sending some examples of itineraries as well. But obviously from this webinar, you've seen a lot about Egypt and what we can do and what Meta can do as well. We've given some great examples of some of the highlights and the multi-country ideas that we can do, along with the attractions and landmarks. But just to speak briefly on, I know we're very up against the hour, and I like to keep my webinars to an hour. But as you know, this webinar is part of a series. And as we spoke about Meta, they do all of these multi-destinations. And our next webinar that we have coming up is going to be on the destination of Israel. So if you would like to register for that webinar, I have just put the link in the chat box there. I also put in there, we touched on the exclusive advisor offer. So I put that in the email as well. What else do we have? We have a resources landing page for Meta, which I think you will find extremely beneficial if you wanted to bookmark this, if Meta is going to be your go-to for the Middle East from now on, which I'm sure it will be. So here in the chat box, I have just put a landing page that I have created, which has all of the assets that you will require when it comes to the Middle East Travel Alliance. So that will have all of the information regarding webinars, any exclusive fam trips, all of those things. If everyone has a little bit of time, I'm more than happy to get into some of the information and the questions and answers, because I know we do have a lot of questions and people have been submitting those. But just from the advisor standpoint, Wheelhouse Travel Alliance, who is the representation company here in the US that manages and represents Meta, we are running an advisor incentive. So I will put that here regarding bookings. So it's basically 5 bookings made between now and the end of the year, and you will receive a $150 Amazon gift card. So I will send that as part of the follow-up as well, but that's an incredible advisor incentive that we are running. All right, let's have a look at the questions. Just wanted to clarify that the new museum will be open in November 23 or November 24.
Nobody can tell for sure when the Grand Museum will be open. Nobody can tell. It is one of the country top secrets because they wanted to make a surprise. So I don't want to commit myself. There is a lot of speculation, but nobody knows. Nobody knows.
One of the wonders of the ancient world.
Ancient wonders of the world. Laurie has a question. She had clients that visited Israel. For a future trip, if they're combining Egypt, Saudi Arabia, will Saudi Arabia deny entry if there's a Jordanian stamp in their passport?
What is the question again?
So clients visited Israel with no stamp on their passport, but crossed from Iliad into Jordan for a day tour to Petra. They have a Jordanian entry-exit stamp at that specific border crossing. For a future trip combination to Egypt and Saudi Arabia, will Saudi Arabia deny entry or deny them a visa due to the fact that they have a Jordanian stamp near Iliad in their passport?
No, they don't.
There we go. Perfect. Answered that question. regarding tours and transfers, so Meta or Amazon, as the DMC just will specifically speak about Egypt, but this does speak to the broader group as a whole. They can do all of your land arrangements, including arranging domestic flights if required as well, and assisting with visas. If you do just want to do tours and transfers, they can absolutely do that if you're wanting to book the hotel separately, or if you have preferred partnerships with hotel groups. We do offer tour operator programs as well. Is it possible to visit or add Al Almain near Alexandria during a tour?
Sure. Yes, sure.
And Mr. Khalid, this might be a bit of a lengthy answer, but Marty and Jim would like to understand, can you speak a little bit about the role of the Egyptologist in a tour and their background and training?
Okay, about the tour guides. The tour, we do not provide any training for the tour guide because this is done by the Egyptian government and the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism. We have to hire a licensed guide, and the guide who get the license, he passed through many exams. Maybe Mr. Magid can speak about it more about this.
Yeah. All the guides here, they are academic guides. They studied in the university for at least 4 years. Then they have to get the license from the tourism of Ministry of Tourism before to be a guide or tour guide. So most of them or all of them, they are experienced guide. So I don't think so they need more training than they had before from the university or their experience before. Yeah.
Thank you.
So they all professional Egyptologists anyway.
Thank you very much. Can we speak regarding the recommended clothing guidelines for women when traveling in Egypt?
Yeah, Magid, you can answer this.
Yeah, dress code in general for ladies, cover shoulder to knees. Yeah, this is the main dress code in Egypt for ladies, for women.
Which is the cooler months to visit Egypt? Temperature-wise, not cooler, but
between November till April.
November through February?
Maybe between November and April.
Okay. There any other questions? Lisa, hi Lisa. Did you get the answer to Laurie's question? The answer is no, they will not be denied entry. So I will now wrap up if there's no more further questions. Thank you everyone for staying the distance. We got to 1 hour, so thank you everyone for coming along on this journey with us. I would like to thank all of the people that signed in today. Thank you to all of our advisors across North America. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being with us and learning more about what the Middle East Travel Alliance is doing, and learning a lot more about Egypt. I found this to be an incredible, informative webinar. So thank you, Mr. Khalid and Ibrahim, for putting this together. I would also like to say a big thank you to Mr. Magid for signing in. Thank you very much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. We very much appreciate it. And we hope to welcome you again. And I'm sure that we're going to get a couple of email requests coming through requesting you personally as their guide. So thank you, everyone. The webinar is recorded, and I will send this as part of my follow-up following when it downloads to Zoom pretty much. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been wonderful to have you. I look forward to welcoming you on the next webinar, which will be on the topic of Israel.
No, it's
Thank
Qatar.
you very much. Thank
Qatar,
you.
Qatar.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.